Welcome back, everybody. I am the Jimmer, and this is the Propane 1 million RP King of the Hill Championship. This is going to be the first round of episode 5. This episode will feature the Super Pool Toy by Poldarn. I hope I'm saying that right, Poldarn. This is, well, I thought it was a ship, but it appears to be perhaps a submarine, featuring these spin block cutters, and then two very fast-firing custom cannons, as well as missiles, lots of shielding, and we'll see how fast it goes once we get sped up here. And once again, this is the Super Pool Toy by Poldarn, going up against our current third place king, the Speedy Weenus, dual entry of identical high-speed thruster craft with laser cannons as well as missiles and torpedoes. So let's speed things up and get this battle underway. See the Super Pool Toy instantly unloading with those fast-firing cannons. Let's see if they are able to connect. And they appear to be very accurate. We see a couple skipping off the shields as well as some connecting, taking out the ammo pods at the back of the Speedy Weenus here. We also see some missiles coming in, and they appear to be very fast, but running out of fuel. Not enough fuel to catch this wide circling Speedy Weenus. Both the Speedy Weenus unloading with their lasers. Those lasers are going to be greatly hindered by the fact that the Super Pool Toy is underwater. But let's see if it's fast enough to outrun the torpedoes from the Speedy Weenus. We'll follow the next launch of torpedoes in and see if they're able to connect. Oh, it's gonna be slow firing one at a time here. While the ammo barrels are destroyed. It's not going to be able to fire quite as fast. I believe this one is a torpedo, or that might have been a missile. Yeah, that one was definitely a missile. See a missile strike from the Super Pool Toy, just missing that Speedy Weenus off in the distance. We still see the flare from the underwater cannons. And here we go, here's some torpedoes coming in. Let's see. Let's get the interface on. See if we can get a look at this sub here. Alright, here is the Super Pool Toy hanging out right around 58 meters of depth, 60 meters of depth, and moving around 35 meters a second. So we'll be able to outrun relatively slow torpedoes, but extremely high-speed torpedoes might be able to catch it. I'm not sure if the Speedy Weenus' torpedoes will be fast enough to catch up. See the lasers coming in. I don't see smoke, but at this depth you hardly even need smoke. The water takes a whole lot out of the damage of the lasers. A missile there coming down, not able to get deep enough. Let's get a quick damage report. Looks like we have one Speedy Weenus down to 98%, everybody else sitting pretty at 100%. Let's get the interface off. Some very fast firing dual cannons there. Put quite a lot of lead into the air. I'm not sure if those cannon shells are going to be connected. Or connecting, excuse me. Yeah, it appears a lot of them are just missing now. The Speedy Weenus being very fast and very far away. It is hard to hit with projectiles. Even projectiles traveling as fast as those of the Super Pool Toy. See, this Speedy Venus definitely has taken some damage, though. It's missing a bit up off the end here, and then its hull is riddled with blackened blocks, which indicates they are very damaged. But so far, doing all right, not taking too much damage. And we see a huge explosion. The Super Pool Toy able to take out an ammo pod off of this Speedy Venus. So far, the Speedy Venus is doing a very good job of splitting the damage between them. Neither is taking the full brunt of the assault from the Super Pool Toy. And we see those missiles getting very close. Just maybe 50 or 60 meters away from the Speedy Venus before they run out of fuel. They are incredibly fast, able to close that. I think it's about 1.5 kilometers that the Speedy Venus's circle, and it looks like the missiles have like a range of about 1.5 kilometers. So they're getting very close, but so far unable to connect. We'll have to see if either of the Speedy Venuses decide to make a pass directly over the top of the Super Pool Toy. In that situation, those missiles will surely connect. Let's get another damage report. Alright, so we're seeing the Speedy Venus one just healed up from 99 to 100, and the other one is at 98. Super Pool Toy still undamaged. So doing a very good job of avoiding any of the damage from the Speedy Venus. We still hear, it sounds like those cannons can go pretty much continuously. We have not heard them slow down at all. But so far, none of these torpedoes are able to really connect. Yeah, we see them drop down, and they end up dropping down behind the Super Pool Toy without detonating or dealing any damage. Oh, and we have a situation here. The Super Pool Toy is running into... Oh, that's interesting. It appears that its spinners here protect it from taking damage. It just ran right into the side of that mountain and took basically no damage. That's very cool, but it did push the Super Pool Toy up towards the surface where the lasers and missiles are both going to be more effective. But it looks like it was good timing, as the missiles were too slow to connect while it was near the surface, and it is diving right back down. Still in a dangerous area. These underwater mountains here are very close. And once again, just bouncing into the bottom, and oh, there we go. In that case, it did take some damage to its spinner, but still relatively minor damage considering how fast it crashed into the bottom. And now moving into an area that appears to be much more open, not in danger of hitting the bottom over here. These vessels have moved very far away, and it appears I actually missed some action there. Got up to grab a drink, and oh yeah. Looks like we have this Speedy Venus has crashed into a mountain and is very damaged. Now taking missile shots from the Super Pool Toy, and then has the Super Pool Toy beached itself over here. Let's get the interface back on. It's somewhere. Oh, it appears no, it is not beached. Oh, we're getting another slowdown. I believe that's from a another collision. Oh yes, the Super Pool Toy has become stuck. It's not. Oh, there it goes. It's kind of jerking along the bottom here. It is taking terrain damage, and we see this very slow torpedo trying its best to catch up, but moving very slow. Once again, it appears that the bottom of the ocean is the biggest enemy to the Super Pool Toy. Just getting beat up by these underwater mountains here. As you can see, we are getting into the coast here. The battle started all the way up here in this open water, and unfortunately, we have moved down here to the hills. And the Super Pool Toy, oh, I lost it again. Is the interface back on? Oh, and the Super Pool Toy has crawled out of the ocean and looks like it is possibly riding on these spinner blocks. Oh, and that spinner block just got damaged there. But I don't see the Speedy Venus is doing anything. I think they got damaged coming over here as well by these mountains. So the terrain is definitely the winner of this battle, taking out all of the entries. We're just gonna let this keep going. I think we've got about another 10 or 15 minutes until this battle is over, and we'll wait until somebody despawns. Looks like this Speedy Venus here. Do we have AIs? We do still have AIs in all the craft. Super Pool Toy down to 84%. This Speedy Venus at 78, and the other at 100%. But this one is just kind of not doing anything. It's still firing. Oh, it is firing its laser and its missiles. I just don't think they're connecting. I wonder if it's there is a issue where it uses very close to the maximum amount of fuel. So if its fuel processors are destroyed, there's a possibility that it will run out of fuel, and then it can no longer run its engines to power the fuel processors. And I believe that's what's happened here. Yeah, as you can see, it has no power, so it's unable to run those fuel processors, and will not really be offering much resistance to the Super Pool Toy. And that's entirely possible that that has happened as well over here. Not really sure. It's possible that they will repair and repair a fuel. Oh, there we saw it started just for a minute, so it is slowly repairing. And if it's able to repair all of its fuel processors, and then like some component that has fuel, either a fuel tank or like the engine part fuel tanks, it should have enough fuel to restart the engine and get the main fuel processors online, and then we'll see these Speedy Venuses back in action. But until then, they're just going to be sitting ducks. I mean, they're not really moving, so I don't think we can consider them out of the battle for moving away. And unfortunately, this is a great opportunity for the Super Pool Toy to capitalize and win the battle. Both of its opponents, both Speedy Venuses, are basically just sitting ducks for its damage right now, but unfortunately it is getting beat up by this terrain. Once again, crashing into the bottom. Still firing its cannons. It really needs to fire those missiles. I think those missiles, if it's able to start launching some volleys, are enough. The missiles are enough to win it this fight right now. It just needs to fire them. Venuses are not going to be able to dodge anything while they are unable to move. And I just want to remind everybody, we are in the vehicle designer, so there is infinite resources. There is should not be an issue where the Speedy Venuses have run out of fuel. I think it's just an issue where they don't have the engine power to run the fuel processors, and so they're in a kind of in a catch-22 where they need the fuel processors to or they need the fuel to run the engine to run the fuel processors to get them the fuel. Those missiles surprisingly not doing a whole lot of damage. It was a good volley. It looked like 7 or 8 landed. Once again, the terrain sort of protecting the Speedy Venus here. But the missiles, yeah, some of them are landing, but don't seem to be doing a massive amount of damage. They're now starting to break through the hull. Let's get a damage report. Alright, one Speedy Venus full health, one at 88%. And a Super Pool Toy down to 84%. I believe it had another collision with a mountain. Let's see if we can get eyes on it. Bring the interface on. Yeah, it's right over here. Yeah, once again, the Super Pool Toy stuck in the terrain. And this looks like this very slow-moving torpedo is going to connect there and did quite a bit of damage. Got a couple blocks, but that's probably not enough to even defeat the regen from the Super Pool Toy. But unfortunately, it is taking quite a bit of damage from running into terrain. Even with those spinning wheels that seem to protect it from damage, it's still getting beat up. Another torpedo landing. Those torpedoes are fairly decent. As far as damage goes, each one takes out a couple beams, so that's fairly good. Oh, and we have a huge game changer here. The Speedy Venus over there was only, I believe it is at like 98 or 99%, and it appears that a good missile or cannon shot got through and took out its AI. So even though it was almost full health, it is going to despawn here. That means that if it goes to the time decision, this battle will go to the Super Pool Toy. there's the 2 damage. The Speedy Venus, the last surviving Speedy Venus, despawning now. Right as we hit the 30-minute mark. I think we were just at 30 minutes there. And the Super Pool Toy able to win decisively, destroying both of its enemies. So we'll get things restarted, and we'll have the second battle of the matchup. Alright, and here we go. Round 2 of the episode begins. See the Super Pool Toy immediately diving down into the depths. Both Speedy Venuses shooting up into the air, trying to evade these incoming shots and missiles. Appears the Speedy Venuses are able to avoid all of this alpha damage here. Getting very close to it there, though. And let's get a damage report. Alright, everybody avoiding all the alpha damage, everybody at 100%. And as I say that, we see an explosion of an ammo pod on the back of that Speedy Venus. What appeared to be due to the cannon fire coming from the Super Pool Toy. Let's get a look at the Super Pool Toy, see how it is doing. Appears to be doing very well. Letting loose with all of its cannons as well as its missiles. Appears to be switching targets here. We see these cannon volleys are landing. It appears that only about 10 or 15% of the shots fired are able to connect, but still, with the volume of shells going up in the air, that is a good amount of connections and is able to do a decent amount of damage to the Speedy Meanies. It appears this battle is going to go much like the first, at least in the initial phase of the battle here, as both entries are able to avoid the damage, but unable to land damage of their own. So we're gonna have to just watch this. Probably end up speeding this up a bit, and hopefully I can catch the action this time if when something happens. Once again, this battle going very much like the first. We are seeing some damage. One of the Speedy Venus is down to 93, the other 96. Super Pool Toy doing pretty good at 98. But neither side really able to out damage the other, just kind of damaging each other at about the rate that they repair. So we're at a very close stalemate. This isn't a situation where these ships can't hit each other. It's that they're right on the edge of one entry or the other getting that critical damage in. If one of the Speedy Venuses drops out of the sky, or if perhaps the Super Pool Toy can be forced to surface, the battle will more than likely end very quickly. But as it sits, I think this is a very close matchup, and either side really able to pull ahead. Looks like we saw the balloons deployed there. Yeah, this the Speedy Venus over here has gone down. Appears to be relatively, it has to be at least 97% health, but must have just been a critical hit on maybe its jet engines or its regular engines. But either way, it has stopped, and the Super Pool Toy is now getting in some serious damage. And there we go. This Speedy Venus is 2 damaged as well as AI dead. It is all sorts of broken, and will shortly despawn. And that most certainly clinches the win for the Super Pool Toy. As long as it is able to avoid underwater obstacles, it will has a very good chance to win this battle. And it looks like it's all over for the Speedy Venus. Down to 98 only down to 92%, but it's, as you can see, its engines are no longer firing. You can see shells going right into the hull, and I've been able to take out the engine, and that pretty much guarantees the victory for the Super Pool Toy by Poldarn. Speedy Venus attempting to flee with balloons, but not able to. And with the Speedy Venus down in the water, these missiles will most certainly connect. Oh yeah, just crisscrossing the hull there, putting all sorts of holes in it. That's one dead Venus right there. And there we go, 2 damage. Alright, so congratulations to the Super Pool Toy by Poldarn. Very cool entry, very powerful custom cannons there. We're able to eventually take the Speedy Venus to the ground and beat them with those very powerful missiles. So thank you for your entry, and we'll be seeing you again in the next video. Great battles. I had a lot of fun making them, and I hope you guys are enjoying watching them. If you are, we'll have another one queued up in the next video.